All right, we're live again, and with 14 days to go to the election, the only big news we had, I went to a function at the local American Legion yesterday evening. Me and the wife went there. But Trump held a rally in Greensboro, which was kind of close to us. Uh, we were in Greensboro. We were at the American Legion on the other side of town in Greensboro, and they said there was a huge turnout. When we went last fall to the rally he had, it was in a smaller building there, but this time, because I guess when he announced it, you go on your phone and you request a ticket, which basically what they're doing is counting who's coming. And when we went, it was in a smaller venue, but this time they actually used the Coliseum. It was quite large, and maybe also the Coliseum, uh, they could get better security in that venue, but we didn't go. Like I said, we went to another function. My wife asked me if I wanted to because they really didn't start the rally till like 7 o'clock at night. And there was a huge turnout. And like around 4 o'clock or something, they start letting people in. And I mean, you have to wait in line for hours to get in, go through the security, get in and everything. So we didn't go. But somebody did drive over on that side of town. He said it was crazy. There was traffic backed up everywhere. Everyone was trying to go to the Coliseum uh, to get in and see him. So that was a big deal. I've watched some, like I said, I've been busy. I got two things going on today. I got someone to do maintenance on a furnace, and then my wife wants a tree cut down, so I'm going to be waiting for them guys to show up and give me a quote on that. So I've been pretty busy trying to get these things out. And like I said, I went back to the lives because it's a little bit easier for me to just pop this up. And also, if I get a phone call or get interrupted or somebody's knocking on the door, I got to cut the live out. Um, but so far, along with all the confusion, ongoing conflicts, uh, metals, some people do kind of drift over to my other channel. Uh, Silver kind of went up, gold has gone up, which those aren't kind of good signs. BRICS is supposedly meeting. There's way too much going on prior to this election that deal with warfare, uh, the economy, the global economy. Um, it's insane. And we're sitting in the club room, uh, and they they had the TV on, and one guy was getting upset. He goes, "Why is it all this political stuff?" And I guess it's kind of like, you know, that's all that's on the TV at this point in time. And they were showing the different local races for judges and senators and that, and they were just keeping it's a big topic. It's and early voter turnout. I know some people said they don't like it, but in this state and many others, they're kind of surprised uh, that the early voter turnout is setting records. They've never seen it like this before. Um, but one thing, an update on the hurricanes. There's a couple local people that still drive supplies and whatever they get donated out to the western part of the state. And they also posted that they're looking for independent truck drivers, I guess, to haul gravel and that. So it would be dump trucks or construction vehicles. Uh, they got a company out there looking to hire people to help rebuild the roads. So there's progress being made there. and it's a good thing. And I did, because nobody mentions Florida. I have a friend, we ran into him, that he inherited through a family member some property, and it's in the northern section of Florida. Uh, I'm not quite sure what city it was, but he inherited some property and he was gone for the past 2 weeks, or after the hurricane or since the hurricane, and he had to go down there. And what happened to him was basically a bunch of trees on the property fell down. So he had to go cut these trees down. Some were large, some were not that large. And I think one of them clipped the house. And he was explaining to us, he's not getting no aid, but the way it is down there, the property values are higher in Florida. It's more desirable. And something about the homeowners insurance, they take off a certain percentage of the value of the house or something. He was explaining some kind of complex thing down there where basically for him, he had to he cut most of the trees down himself. Okay. Or cut them up and got them out of there. He said it would have cost thousands of dollars to hire a company to do it. And then, however, that homeowner's insurance works, there's a deductible during a hurricane, a certain percentage of the value of the house, which now, he's going to be out a lot of money. He has to choke up a lot of cash to get things straightened out down there. So he was down there working on that. And I guess he's thinking of taking up permanent residency down there and moving. So that's first I've heard of anything from anybody involved in Florida on what's going on after the hurricane. So I think there was a couple others coming up. These hurricanes in the Gulf are going to, not again, another big storm. Okay, yeah. This guy's reporting, and another one may be coming, but I'm not quite sure. I didn't research it. But yeah, there's a problem to getting. FEMA is just now getting set up in the local. Okay, yeah. I mean, how long's that been? A week, 2 weeks? I mean, again, you're relying on the local people to do all this stuff. See, my friend wasn't down there in Florida when the hurricane hit. He was here in North Carolina with us. And I guess he went down there to do that. Okay, cutting checks. They're giving him some sort of relief and putting tarps on roofs. All right. But yeah, at least something's being done, and you don't really hear much about it. And another storm might be coming, and the political thing, the frenzy going on. I mean, Trump coming down with this rally was, again, this is a battle, I guess, North Carolina, Georgia, Ohio, and I forget, some guy did a breakdown of it, but there's like 4 states, these swing states, that they need to win to get elected. Oh, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's another one. So the two of them been going to Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, everything repeatedly, again and again and again. And this time he came in, and it was a huge turnout. Okay. And the polls, this and that, from the amount of people, at least where I live. Now, granted, you head towards Raleigh and a couple of the larger cities, the sentiment for Trump may not be the same as it is here locally, but from the local turnouts and the feelings and expressions of the people in Triad area, which is Greensboro, Winston, and that is a lot different. Now you go to Charlotte, and it's a different situation down there. All right, so you got local crews working on that. FEMA's just handing out tarps that they confiscated from somebody. All right. Uh, yeah, because I believe the only thing that happened to my friend's house is he has partial damage to the roof, and I think the tree hit a corner of the house or something. There may be something that he needs carpenter work, but it's not that terrible. It's not like what happened here uh, in North Carolina, where whole towns have been washed away along with the roads, the bridges, and everything to get to them. Western NC is a totally different situation. I do know there was an issue of down in Georgia, there was some sort of a chemical plant that caught fire during the storm, and people have some serious issues where they're coughing up blood and stuff and everything, and there's some serious issues going down in Georgia still. But the um, political situation is getting intense. Everyone's on edge because they don't know what's going to happen. Henceforth, a lot of people are making a point to get out and vote early in the states that allow that. Because a lot of people say they're afraid that something's going to happen. Either, again, computer glitch, like I was talking about yesterday, where everything is uh, kind of wiped out, and computer glitch, war. Everyone's afraid. Like I was saying yesterday, the big thing was a lot of people are nervous that there's going to be some sort of a nuclear event in the war in the Middle East. A lot of stuff um, going down that could impede or throw askew the election. And one thing I seen on the news, Cowboys for America or whatever, there was an individual who was part of some organization that from the January 6th uh, potential overthrow of the government, that he trespassed close to the VP or something, and he's been appealing this, but his conviction's been held for whatever the hell it was. I didn't quite read it. Isn't it cool? I didn't hear that. An E. coli outbreak? That I didn't hear. Was that on the news today? McDonald's had an E. coli outbreak, which McDonald's historically, okay, they run that business pretty tight. I do remember back in the 80s, an idiot went and shot all them people in a McDonald's. I used to eat in that. I've stopped and actually was in that restaurant down San Ysidro. We used to go down there when we go to Tijuana or something on a Saturday afternoon. I've been in that McDonald's, and that was a tragedy. And I guess after the investigation was over, they bulldozed that place and made a park there. So you got one person killed and 40 plus injured from Ebola at McDonald's. E. coli, I'm sorry. E. coli. Ebola is the good thing. That's where your eyeballs bleed and there's no hope for you. E. coli outbreak, which to me, yeah, that's gotten to their supply chain. All right, they're pretty, McDonald's wasn't a giant fast food juggernaut that it has been for letting shit come up like that. They're pretty good about that. Then I guess Kentucky Fried Chicken back in the 70s. Let's see. Where's the outbreak at? Yeah, good question. I haven't heard that one. But like they said, when somebody breaded and fried a mouse back in the 70s at Kentucky Fried Chicken, I guess that was one of the employees tripping on acid did that, and that really did happen. Um, can't recall, but it's current. Let's look. McDonald's. All right, I got it right here. McDonald's and E. coli. Let me get this up. And this is U.S. News Today, Wednesday, the 23rd. An E. coli outbreak tied to McDonald's Quarter Pounders has sickened 49 people in 10 states, killing one and landing 10 in the hospital. Most of the illnesses have been reported in Colorado and Nebraska. Okay, Colorado and Nebraska. Seen a statement, McDonald's initial findings have linked the onions in a single supplier that serves 3 distribution centers. McDonald's has removed slivered onions from quarter pound patties in Colorado, Kansas, Utah, Wyoming, portions of Idaho, Iowa, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Mexico, and Oklahoma. Okay, but the illnesses have been reported Colorado and Nebraska. All right, there we go. That's what they're saying. Yeah, well, that's another thing. Colorado. Well, that's they said to people. I guess it's the onions that did it, and that distributor supplies 3 regional. So there's a lot of states covered uh, with that. And again, that's where they find the E. coli mostly in the processed food or the vegetables or something. 'Cause they had an outbreak here or somewhere. It comes from some sort of vegetables or something harvested from some areas. But yeah, that just goes to show you they these huge farms and corporations and that. Yeah, kind of uncanny. Kind of don't know. It's kind of like if you ever watched Peter Sellers in those old Inspector Clouseau movies, the Pink Panther movies or whatever, that he was made famous for. And the old inspector would sit there and look and go, evil forces are at work here. That's about how the whole damn world is run right at the moment. The other thing is if all you guys familiar with my channel, the cheap Turkish shotguns, I guess those days are over. They were clearances, and once the inventory was cleared, you're not getting $100 pump shotguns or semi-autos or anything anymore. And a lot of those guns that were out there uh, are dried up. So I got to make a video there. I got to get back to making some gun videos. Yes, that was also an all-time favorite movie there, Dr. Strangelove. It had all the cast of characters, Nazi scientists, Russian spies, and psychotic generals in the U.S. Army. But yeah, that's another thing I'm seeing this discounting of firearms to clear out the slow inventory is kind of coming to an end. And well, I'll make a video about it, but prices are starting to come up on that stuff. I guess they cleared out the stagnant inventory. I know 311, if he's still here, it looks like they got rid of the stuff that ain't selling. And actually, there'll be a surprise. I caught a gun today that MSRP for $500, and I picked it up for, I think, what was it? $220 is what I paid for it. For a gun that was retailing for 500 MSRP, 220. And they had another one. They had one of those Turkish guns. They're a copy of the Glock, because the patents have run out on Glock, so the Turks make these knockoffs of them, and they kind of do some improvement. What the Glock didn't. They have interchangeable back straps, but I think it come under Rock Island DSA something or other. It was $220 for a gun that, you know, kind of was up there in the 300s. And once they got rid of that inventory, they brought it back. Now it's 240, and they had a nice gray green one that I wanted, but those are 280. So even your discount guns are starting to come back up in price. So it looks like they're getting their inventory. Well, that's what happened that one year. I was buying all those firearms that were being, they had rebates, or they just lowered the damn price to clear them out because they were either changing something. And I mean, you know, they're discounted 50% of what the MSRP is. But now they're starting to go back up. Yeah, muzzle loaders, that's the one gun you guys, you know, you kind of get kind of screwed on. Their prices have never dropped. And you have to remember, a lot of the muzzle loaders, traditional ones, are made with wood and stuff, and metal that has to be fitted. So that's why they're exorbitant. I mean, any long gun made by Pedersoli's over $1,000, no matter what musket or whatever. I don't even know if CVA or any of the lower tier ones even make stuff with wood anymore. They crank out them synthetic stock inline guns for $120, and that's all somebody needs to go hunt muzzleloading season, using the pellets and stuff. So that kind of, like you said, traditional guns are excruciatingly expensive. Even handguns. I forget the pistols Pedersoli makes. They're all 500 plus or something. So yeah, it's a tough one. I'm talking about the commercial junk or Turkish specials there. Yeah, when they said clearance, they weren't kidding, because once the inventory's gone, those days are, you know, $100 shotguns are gone, and 100.5 or 200 for the AR-15 styles. You can still find a couple of them, because that G-Force made 5 or 6 different models, and I really don't know why or what the purpose was. They're all kind of similar, more or less. And some of them are still hanging out there, but like the bullpups and all that's done. You don't see them. They sold the inventory out, so those days are gone. You know. So, but yeah, so far don't know what's going on. You know, other than the politicians intensifying their rallies and trying to sway people. So I don't know. I'm not a politician. Generally, somewhat stable psychologically somewhat normal people have made up their mind by now. I guess there's people sitting on the fence, and all of this is to, I guess, influence the undecided folks. Because, like I said, one guy said that between the two candidates, they have to get the electorals from Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, I think South Carolina, Ohio, but Pennsylvania, Georgia, and North Carolina are the top three. And henceforth, this intense uh, rallies, campaigning. I mean, when I went to see him, he went to 3 rallies that day. And they were all small venues. He was down, I don't know where the hell he was, Georgia or South Carolina, flew up to North Carolina for the afternoon, and then 7 in the evening, he was going to be somewhere else, I think up north somewhere. And he had 3 of them rallies in a day. I mean, that's an awful lot. I don't know if this was a 7 o'clock, if he went to 1 or 2 somewhere else that day, yesterday. But yeah, it's intense, and people are enthusiastic, but a lot of people are very tense, very unsure. Nobody's sure what's going to go on. The electorate is solidifying such that small swings make huge differences. Maybe. I don't know. I've never had the job of counting votes either. I don't know. Solidifying straight down the middle 50-50. I can't comment on that because actually, from where I stand or where I live, that doesn't look like it. Of course, when you go to Charlotte or you go to Raleigh, the sentiment and the people there may be completely different. I don't know, but I kind of think that this showing 50-50 in a couple points is a bunch of BS they use, because, of course, I don't know the demographics. Larger city has a lot more people in one area, other than compared to where I live, where everyone's kind of spread out. But who knows? I guess that's why we're having the countdown. We'll have to wait and see. But realistically, from what I see and from what I've seen out there, I don't see how the Democrats can win. I mean, just the nonsense on the regular news things aren't doing these people any favors. Okay, I mean it's. Let's look. All right, what's the? You've been going to Vegas, put in some bets there. Yeah, that's true, and actually, you do see some things changing in a roundabout way. A lot of these policies of the past 4 years in the school system and that, they're all being changed. It's all kind of behind the scenes going, and you know, that's the way it looks. There are some people that say that people know already how silver's getting pushed back. Here we go. It looks like I got somebody coming. Let me see on the phone. Check and see. No, Costco refill. All right, not the furnace guy. Alrighty. So we still got some time. Yeah, should look that up. See if I can get the Vegas odds. That'd be something fun to do. Okay, Vegas odds on Trump winning. Mm-hmm. Trump remains consensus 4/5 betting favorite. Bet 100 to 180. Harris is a short underdog at 11 to 10 odds. Yes, it appears in Vegas Trump has the odds. Democracy is when 3 wolves and a sheep vote for what's for dinner. Yeah, that looks about it. It's not so much the voting, it's the politicians themselves. You really don't have choices, um, because the way this system works, the amount of money you need, and to get to where there are a lot of people who would probably be very good presidential candidates, but just can't get no traction because the way the system is, you know, they have a way of controlling who gets in office because then they control these people. And it's not by somebody we elect, it's by money, power, and influence. Let's see what we got here. Donald Trump, pervert, gets in, goes to rally and tells about how he's into my shower rooms and really not quite sure what the fuck that means. So let's go. I expect the big thing is to get voters to get out and actually vote. Yeah, that's one thing that you're seeing happening here. Um, Generally, people uh, don't vote, and like I said, when people go, "Why are you voting early?" This and that, go the day of the election. Well, when I tried that, it was quite difficult. Okay, we don't get election day off. Your employers, at least the ones I have, don't give a rat's ass. At one time, you used to get, uh, sometimes or some people will let you go vote. I worked for a guy, of course, it was a small company. The guy, he was thinking of running for politics. So jury duty, he paid you, which most people don't. And voting, if you asked him, you weren't on the clock, but he let you go vote without, docking you or getting you in trouble or threatening to fire you. If you had to take a half day off, he let you do it. Yeah. Well, it was a different time and a different place. Reagan, Carter, Eisenhower, and Ford. Ford kind of slid into that one. I don't know if he got reelected or not. Paid federal holiday. Yeah, I guess in the old days they did. They used to actually up in New York. I remember. I think my parents said they'd close. The bars couldn't be open during polling hours. They didn't have early voting. Okay, election day, and I guess there were some city ordinances. I guess depending on where you live, that they'd actually make the bars close during polling hours. Um, I guess you couldn't go in there and buy everybody a drink to get them to go vote, and you did get time off. Okay, it was you know 60 years ago. This country was a totally different place than it is now. Okay, when it came in terms of how workers were treated and how people looked at things, uh, you know, around here. Yeah, why not? They're giving it to people who just kind of come across the border from somewhere. But like I said, I work for a guy. He would do that. He'd let us go vote. Uh, without threatening to fire us. Um, he paid you if you had jury duty and showed him the paperwork. Because like one time I was on this thing, it was 2, 3 days, and they don't pay you, so you're losing money. It's tough to show up for that, and that's why a lot of people don't vote. It's they get called for jury duty. Yeah, yeah, that'd be nice. But that ain't gonna happen because it isn't a politic. You know, they get in there and they do what they're told by the people who put the millions up to get them in office. You know, yeah, I'm not a federal employee. So Trump and Musk are flashing millions around for people who support them. That's right, and I'm waiting for my damn check. You know, I'm waiting for me to get my $1 million check. I got well, 14 more days to see how it all comes out, but that would be fine. Even if I don't get the check, I still voted for him. So kind of don't matter. Just an added bonus, I guess. And you can't really say that's buying votes. Now, if they paid everybody something for signing that petition, yeah, that would be. But not quite for supporting them. Yeah, election day, this and that. Yeah, things were different back in the old days. And you did see people get arrested for voting fraud back in the old days. I forget. And back, it was more a local thing. But that has happened. I don't think it does now. But I don't think it works that way. I'm not really quite sure what this insane nonsense is. Okay. And it's a petition for something else. But to say that I've already voted, so I'm no longer relevant to them, that's really not us. Can't agree with that statement. Yeah, that's true. Well, I'll be millionaires. Have them 10,000 trillion Zimbabwe banknotes go to McDonald's to get E. coli. Yeah, I was going to dig the guns out and discuss that. Uh, that's what I was thinking to do. Um, because I seen your video, and I can't remember if I did one. I think I did one on reloading them. It might be a members thing. Um, but I made up some of the ammo. I had a bullet mold from NOE Bullet Molds, which was very close to the shape of that bullet you have in the service ammo, kind of a truncated cone type thing. And I got them round nose 200 grain bullets, which was used in a super police load. And I used them. I do have like a Smith and Wesson Victory, but it's chambered for the British round. I should send the serial numbers in and get a document on that. It was an odd gun I picked up at an auction. But I do have 3 Webleys, and I was going to pull them out and uh, kind of show the guns off and talk about. You already talked about the ammo. I was going to pull out the old service. Your votes are already in, so they can't. Well, yeah, they couldn't one way or the other. But still, $1,000,000 is $1,000,000. Well, the problem 314 is those sights on those pistols. When people used to try to shoot the 38 Smith and Wesson in them, they never had heavy enough bullets because 200 grain bullet compared to 148. The way those sights are regulated, and I think, where the hell did I start getting a drop off? I did it in one video where I was up close, and I forget how many yards back I went. And it's so many yards back, it does noticeably start to take a nosedive. Um, and I remember one guy was complaining back in the 60s or something. He would try to reload for his British revolvers, and I don't know, he might have been using 125 grain or something, but the way the sights are, it would always shoot high. Okay. And I don't think, I was just looking at the info. I don't think them bullets are traveling more than 600 feet per second in 200 grain bullets. I mean, they're way slow. I know 45 is about 809, so around, and or 850. So these are traveling even slower than the 45 ACP. Granted, they're almost the same weight. 230 is the I think the FMJ weight in 45. So you're chunking out of a 38. You're throwing a mass that's almost the same size as the 45. And there's a weird thing about that. Even though that bullet ain't zipping out of there, even though the range ain't there, at I forget, one time they said the average police shooting distance is 13 feet. At 13 feet, you hit somebody with one of them rounds, even though it's kind of minuscule. I can say, see, it's hard to measure that kinetic impact. And how I noticed it is on the steel plates. You shoot at the steel plates with a standard 9mm. You hit the plate, bing, it goes down, bounces. Kind of rattles, because you hit it at a high speed and it flips it down. You hear, you shoot it with that thing, and when you hit that plate, it's like taking a cast iron frying pan, slamming it down once. You just hear, boom. You can tell the force hitting them plates is there. It's noticeable different when I hit the fallen plates. The sound it makes. So yeah, there's something to it, and really, they don't recoil that hard or that bad. I even got that. When I get them out, I'll make a video. I got the little police one that's smaller. I don't know if that was from India or some place, or I don't know where they came from, but a bunch of these law enforcement Webleys. They were made in the 50s, 60s. I got one of them. That's a neat little gun. At 13 feet. Okay. Yeah, because I think there was a standard load, about 100.5 for a 38 Smith & Wesson. And there were a lot of the little break top, them older break top guns were calibered in that. And I think Smith & Wesson still chambered revolvers. And they made that one weird little snub nose gun that was chambered in 38 Smith & Wesson. It was real, they called it the Banker's model or something. I forget what it was. I actually seen one of them come up for auction, was going to get it, but price started getting a little too high. But Smith & Wesson did make them in 38 Smith & Wesson, because the bullet is on those standards is wider, probably because they were healed bullets in the old days. That's a lot of things people don't realize is Colt made the 32 Colt and the 38 Colt, which were healed bullets. So they're shooting a bullet a hell of a lot bigger in diameter, like 22s, where you got your cartridge case and the bullet, once you seat it, it's the same diameter as the outside of the brass. So that's where it confuses people when you tell them that. They don't quite get it. How come when I shoot my gun, I can't hit nothing? Well, do a little research. Well, all right. I think we'll get it in for an hour here. And then, like I said, I got service people coming. Those bandits show up, check my furnace. Winter's on the way. I guess you guys got cold weather up there in the Great White North. We're getting it here. I don't know. This winter might be a tough one. Last winter was pretty mild. I was out working all these months out in the yard in December and stuff. But yeah, I'm going to dig out those guns sometime if I get some time today, and maybe make a video. And like I'm glad that both of you guys are here. I got to make another one. The era of the cheap shotguns is gone. I got to do a video on that. And there's some people keep asking me for my opinions. Well, I'm thinking of buying one of these. And I said, I tell you in the videos, I got one that works, and I got one that I can't get 5 rounds of anything out of. It's very inconsistent. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we were dropping into the 40s or what. Here, I didn't go outside. I stay in here, finish my coffee and that. But yeah, we're supposed to get down into the 40s. 65 in Texas. Our armadillo's got to wear sweaters, huh? Yeah, winter in Phoenix and Arizona is nice. Morning, Joe. How's it going today? Come down with all the political clamor going on. That's what we were talking about. And the cheap Turkish shotguns have dried up, and we're going to do a discussion or some videos. I'll get them made on the Webleys and the 380/200 round. Got to revisit that. I kind of perfected that thing and shot up all the ammo. Actually, I sold that. I used to sell that at the gun shows, and one guy bought a box of it at one gun show. He collected British pistols or British firearms. He was really into it, Enfields and revolvers and that. And he bought that one box. He come back. I had 3 of them up there. He bought them all. He liked that ammo. That was That was retirement plan number one, which went out the window with the expensive cost of reloading. In Idaho. Well, the geese haven't started moving yet where I am. Like I said, I didn't get outside today yet. I'm waiting on this to get through this, keep my series going on the countdown. It won't be long now, guys. It's 13 more, I guess. All right, 314, man. You take it easy, buddy. And probably see you on Sunday for the Sunday chat. I know you fellas like coming for that. We got just about everybody here today. Pretty good. 25 people. All right, so that's about what I max out at. I did see one thing that Italian guy I know, Giuseppe. I used to talk with him a lot, and then when people were bugging me about doing stuff and I couldn't do it anymore because I had to go back to work, I said, look, stop emailing me. And for some reason, the way I worded that when it translated in all these different languages, all these foreigners figured I told them to screw off and I didn't want them to email me no more, and they never did. But Giuseppe was in there with CNC machines, and he was machining the Kropatschek brass out of stock. And he does a lengthy video where he does that. And I mean, he machines it, does the primer pockets, everything. I mean, he was cranking out a ton of that stuff. I mean, see, the machine brass, it kind of doesn't, I don't know if it really performs as well as the drawn brass. Okay, you got to remember it's a solid stock. That drawn brass, it's like the shotgun barrels extruded, and you can heat it, flex it. I don't know how well it would size up. Today's kind of busy day after class again. Some groceries. Yeah, well, sorry to hear that. I mean, but yeah, I don't know. So I'll put a link to that video, and you can send them an email and ask them about it. Some people have asked about buying the brass. I may contact him myself. He does have an email, and he's the one. He made me those clips for the Italian rifle. Let me see. I think I may have one right here. Let me bring my clip collection. The fellow that did these little single shot box. 219. That's all you get for a month. I mean, I can't even feed the raccoons on that. Yeah, these here. I did a couple videos for the kid. He sent me a bunch of these. These things are pretty good. Where did I put? But Giuseppe made me those clips, those speed loaders. Hell, ain't in that one. So I keep everything so well organized here. It's easy for me to find all this shit in that box. Negative. There it is. There it is. All right, yeah, he made me a bunch of these, and these work great in the Italian 70, 81s or whatever. I mean, it's right down there. But I forget what the hell he charged me. Oh, let's see if that's them. I've been getting spam calls. My phone's been ringing like crazy. But no, he kind of made me these clips, and I do have a video of me using these. They hold the 4 rounds, and you stick them down there, yank them out, and it works in them old Vetterli 10 millimeters. Great. And so he really didn't say how extensive his shop was in my communications with him. And, you know, what I've seen him, he's got some good CNC machines, and, you know, he was making his stuff, and he's pretty good at it. So yeah, I got to see. I might do a video on it and get some of that brass for the Kropatschek. And I went and made that weird bullet, that heavy bullet that it does work. But, you know, it's fairly accurate. It does work, but you got to have the sights up to 600 meters to hit anything there. Ain't really driving it. But I think I'll go back and do a load for using that. Lee makes that 338 bullet, and then you got to weasel it down about 334. And then hell, I just use a small charge green dot, and it should work fine in there. Be a little bit snappier. Let's see where we are. Pandemic garden. Yeah, but I have pets that like to eat in my garden too. And what little garden we had got mauled by them. Not so much raccoons. The squirrels ripped the tomatoes all to shreds. And then we got deer that'll chop down everything. All right, got somebody, a couple more guys tuning in. We're up to 20. Must be we lost some and we gained some. So now at 20 viewers. Lake Superior region. Oh, that sounds like that's a fun place. When I was at Great Lakes, Illinois, I loved the weather there in March. That was a fun, anywhere on the damn lakes is always a fun place to be certain times of the year. Let's see what other crap we got in there. These Glock 45. I think we can do this. I'd like to sit and talk about guns and show you guns, but if we did that, we'd get shut down. And ooh, 5-round AK mag. It must come from one of them Norinco guns I had. It says China on the bottom, so you can go hunt. These are tough to find. The 6.5 Dutch clips. How else in there? Carcano clips. I've had some of them for hundreds of years. Oh, we even got it. There's 6.5 Dutch. I didn't realize I had a bunch of that. It's on a PPU brass. I had to go and trim the back on that. And I even have left over an old gun dealer years ago when I asked them, gave me a box of the ammo for the 88 Mausers. And this original clip, let's see if I can get a date on here. '18 or '19. 1933, I guess. So that probably isn't, I don't know. Interesting. But I had that. I don't know if there's a second one. There was a box. And then, of course, when the wife was cleaning, the box fell, had the box to stamp. And it just disintegrated. And I was kind of upset. She goes, "Why? It's only the box." I said, "The damn box is worth more than what the hell is in it." But it did not survive. Formation on foot to hunt bugs in the yard. Well, at least they're doing something useful. All right, so that was our show and tell. Oh, 3-round birth year clips. I got, I think, about a dozen of them or something when I had one of the rifles finally. And those, the price on those has gotten ridiculous. I remember the French guns, nobody really wanted them back at one time, especially the little short-barreled versions of it. Now they're well, it's like Japanese rifles. Astronomical. Let me get this back. Let me make sure that wasn't the whatchamacallit company. Nope, no voicemails. And when you have to excuse me, I'm trying to make sure that when these people call, 9 and 1 p.m. Okay, it's 10. 784-886. I've just been getting a ton of spam calls. I don't know if they're political or whatever, but I mean, my phone rings all day long and it's not anybody that I know. Yeah, it's not their number. Oh, modern technology. You gotta love it, guys. You gotta love it. Gotta love it. Let me get this the hell out of here. Yeah, I gotta start cleaning out all my junk. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you made it that far. And that you're doing good. It's good to hear. Everything else. All right, well, glad to hear things are working out in your favor. Well, we got into it about an hour. And like I said, I'm still waiting. They'll be coming soon, probably, to get my furnace done. So I'll be ready to start up another one, probably early in the morning. Because I don't know what, well, tomorrow I might not. I might have another live at 9 o'clock. It seems that that's the time everyone expects it when I was doing them. We might go with that. And then that way we can continue to count down, keep the lives going. I mean, we get a good turnout. And it's good to hear from everybody. And I thank all you guys for showing up and putting in your comments and that. And I still got time on this one for a month or so. So I can probably use this, which I like this because I can put your comments up in the thing. All right, then I'll see you fellas tomorrow morning.